Welcome, everyone, to Dragon Quest FM, where we talk about and obsess over Dragon Quest. My name's Austin,
I'm BJ.
and this week we are sharing our Dragon Quest Day 2026 predictions and also kind of like our wish list of things
Yeah.
we hope we're going to see. This is also the 40th anniversary of Dragon Quest. So when
Wow.
it turns, you know, when it turns 40 at the end of May here on DQ Day, 4 decades. Yeah, just,
Golly.
I know, it's almost as old as you are.
Yeah, it's almost. And I remember when it was new on the NES. So I mean, I get it was a couple of years after
After,
86,
yeah.
but dang, it's hard to believe that was 40 years ago.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's do our predictions first because I think there's sometimes overlap between what we want to see and what we think we'll get, but
Yeah.
then also those can be two very different things. Also, let's not keep the people waiting. Let's talk about Dragon Quest 12 because I think that's
Right.
the biggie
That's
that's
the
on
biggie.
everybody's mind. Yeah. What's your thoughts there?
I actually think we're going to see some Dragon Quest 12 this time. If they are ever going to show us something, I think this is the time that they're going to do it. I'm thinking that since they've teased us, what was it, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, with the logo and said that it was in development,
It was five
that
years ago. It was for the 35th anniversary.
for the 35th, so we're due something. uh Not often outside of Bethesda do you get something like, hey, we're working on this, and then half a decade later you get more information about it. So I'm expecting at least something about DQ12 to come up on this. I'm really hoping, like, my what I hope happens is impossible, with it being like a shadow drop demo for the game, but I'm hoping we get a trailer, like that we actually get to see gameplay for it, that we get to see early. I say early after 5 years, but early gameplay of what it might look like.
Yeah, I gotcha. I want to preface this by saying that I am more confident in my predictions this year than I think I've ever been in any year that
Oh,
we've been doing this. And I don't have inside information. I should also say that. It's
right.
just that like at this point, common sense and also things we've seen in previous years kind of start to add up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, but no, I'm with you. I am 100% confident that Dragon Quest 12 is going to get shown off. I think he might have been listening for a long time. I know I've said this before, but like Dragon Quest 12 was 100% announced too early. They did it because it was
Mm-hmm.
the 35th anniversary and it was still during like major COVID times and it was like that's what you did to keep interest, right? You
Mm-hmm.
promoted games, but it was just announced way too early. They showed the title. We had a tiny very little bit of a voiceover and that was really it. And it's like okay, 5 years down the road, you have to think that whether there's issues with development or not, it's been 5 years. They've got to show something. It's the 40th anniversary,
Right.
and that's the number one thing that everybody wants to see. Every Dragon Quest fan, no matter what country they live in, how old they are, they want to see DQ12 on Dragon Quest Day. And
Yep.
it's the 40th anniversary, which doesn't happen for a lot of series. And you just got to do it. And I think I don't think I'm not hopeful for a shadow drop the way you are, like with a demo or
I'm not sure
anything.
if I'm
I'm not
hopeful for it. I hope that it happens, but I'm not necessarily hopeful for it. I don't think it's going to happen.
yeah, I mean I'm not even hopeful. That's just like how positive I am. I think we'll get a trailer that will get a lot of people hyped and excited for it. I think maybe we'll get like a release window, like year, like we'll get a
Mm,
trailer and then at the end it'll say like summer 2028 or something like
right.
that. But I don't think that I'm not even going to try to predict the release window, but
No,
like
God, no.
I think we will could realistically get a year, at the
Yeah,
very end,
I
even if
think
it's
so.
not specific beyond that. And I think that'll be it. But honestly, I mean, that's all you need, right? It's kind of like with the latest Pokemon game that, it was Pokemon's 30th anniversary, and everybody was like, oh, they got to show off and announce Gen 10. It's
Right.
time. You got to do it. They did it. It was like, I don't know, 2, 3 minutes long. Other than the starters, it really didn't show off that much. And graphics wise, it doesn't really look that much different from the last few Pokemon games,
Yeah.
but it still got people excited. And I think that's kind of what we'll get here is that kind of thing. And similar to what Pokemon did with having like, 2027 or whatever at the end. I think we'll get something like that for Dragon Quest 12. Beyond that though, honestly, like I know it's the 40th anniversary and all that, but I'm not expecting a ton of stuff. Like my the wishes are definitely more than the predictions, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
Um,
It's hard to actually predict on this one because there's been such a roller coaster and ups and downs of what they've released versus what they have teased already. And so it's hard for me to be like, well, we're going to get DQ12 but also they've been doing remakes of so many things. Like, what would they be able to announce otherwise? Maybe they're just doing remakes, so maybe we don't get DQ12. It's
yeah.
hard to actually predict on, but without knowing, like they've not been transparent in terms of what kind of business plan they're working under here. It's just, piecing it together from different interviews and what they're actually releasing right now.
Yeah, I would argue that it has been clear. They maybe not have not said it explicitly, but to me, I think it's very clear that they're releasing a bunch of remakes to hold people over until they can release Dragon Quest 12. And that seems to be the strategy is to, keep the money flowing that way while
Mm.
you pay out, people to work on DQ12. Um, I I mean, we know there's 40th anniversary merch. Not to toot
Yep.
my own horn, toot toot, but I said that was gonna happen. And like I think 2 weeks after we talked about it on the podcast, it was like, yeah, here's the 40th anniversary slime plushie that has, is dressed
Yeah.
like a king, and there's like gold figures. There's like commemorative coins, and there's a medallion, and there's like some cool 40th anniversary stuff out there. A lot of it, admittedly, is, in Japan only, but
Yeah.
I've seen the Square Enix store um, share some things kind of recently from when we're recording this. So it's like, yeah, those things exist. Um, honestly, slightly disappointed by the 40th anniversary slime. Like we had the really cool Erdrick slime for like the 35th, and then
Right.
the 40th is just like he's a king. And it's like it's very similar. I mean, it's the typical king attire, like the midi
Yep.
metal king looking,
Uh-huh.
crown and everything. But um, it's neat, but at the same time, I'm like going from Erdrick to just like NPC King is kind of a downgrade, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. The crown doesn't even look as cool with it being like the red like rounded crown. It doesn't even look as cool as I don't want to say it's a tiara that Erdrick has. I don't even know what the headpiece is called for him. The crown that he has, the headpiece. It doesn't look as cool, honestly.
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm shocked that it's not the like helm from DQ1 because it is the 40th anniversary
Right.
ringing in that first game. And I get that every anniversary technically is about that first game. And I know that we've gotten slimes like that in the past, but still, I fully kind of thought that it would be something more tied to like the hero.
Yeah. And I
Um,
do like the big patch on the back of the slime. Those of you who haven't seen it, there's a big Dragon Quest 40th anniversary metal patch on the back of the slime, which I think looks really, really cool.
yeah, it's similar, not exactly the same. It's similar to the 35th one,
Hmm.
which I thought was cool on the back as well. Um, other than that, though, for predictions, the only thing I'm really thinking is we'll get the usual like mobile game upgrade news.
Right.
Smash Grow is releasing in the US,
Uh huh.
and hopefully not dying in 3 months. But
We're
um,
hoping.
So I think, Smash Grow and other mobile games that still exist, because keep in mind this is primarily a Japanese audience. I think that we'll see stuff like that with updates for that, Dragon Quest X, and then honestly, I think that's it. And I don't know either if anything else is warranted. I mean, it's the 40th anniversary. People want video games, but you show off DQ12, and I think everybody's going to go home relatively happy.
Yeah. If we, in a perfect world, they would also announce a Zenithia trilogy remake going along with the pattern they've been doing. But I'm still iffy on whether that's going to happen, on
So,
whether we're going to see anything like that at all on
so
the
we can,
40th.
so we can segue. Is that more your prediction or more on your wish list?
That's more on my wish list than prediction. I think my wish list would be to see it that they're gonna do more remakes like that, but I don't actually know if we're going to. I think that it's gonna be mostly mobile stuff and DQ12.
Yeah. I I'm kind of the same way. Like it's Zenithia trilogy is on my wish list, and I think at some point we'll get it. But the wrench in the works, I guess, is that DQ7 reimagined. It's like if you were gonna do the Zenithia trilogy, the logical time to do that was after finishing out the Erdrick trilogy,
Right.
and instead they weirdly did one for DQ7. Um, and I'm unsure because that was kind of like just out of left field,
Yeah, it was.
um, and I would love to see a Zenithia trilogy more than anything. I think if we're talking remakes, remasters, I would like to see nine,
Yeah,
just
for
to get
real.
it, off the DS, and let people experience it more. I think that this is complete speculation on my part, and who knows because it's not always logic behind what these companies are doing, but
Right.
just kind of like an outside perspective on this is that it is possible that that is why we got DQ7 is because the art style is very similar and could work to DQ9, but it's much easier to transfer the gameplay of 7 onto a system like the Switch,
Right.
PS5, PC, Xbox. It's easier to transfer those systems over already as kind of like an experiment. So you release Dragon Quest VII with this engine, with the kind of
Right.
like doll look and everything, and those kind of graphics, and you use that money that you make from that to fund the project of, making a DQ9 remake that looks like this,
Yeah.
but you need more time with 9 because of how much of Nine's gameplay is connected to like it's not called Street Pass on the DS, but
It was.
the
Yeah.
tagging and like and everything. The just the like online and like kind of like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever capabilities that you would need for DQ9, I suspect would take a lot more work, and you would have to kind of see, okay, well, what are we cutting? What are we
Exactly.
But also I think DQ7 could also be a test of how much can we cut and get away with before people get super mad at us.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I think that's part of game development and remakes in general at this point. But yeah, I think that's definitely a fair way to look at it.
so I'm not necessarily saying yes, we're going to get a DQ9 announcement this year because I really don't think we are, but I do think that just reasonably, that's the one that is kind of most deserving of getting a remake at this point.
Right,
And if you already have this engine, you already have all this other stuff, you have the money coming in from DQ7, so why not use all this stuff to create this new version of, Dragon Quest IX reimagined, that lets you, you know, cut out some of that stuff and but still, give people access to that story, those characters, the kind of job system and everything like that. And that's the other thing with seven is, the gameplay because of the job system and stuff like that. Like a lot of the gameplay elements are also similar to what we've seen in seven
right.
before. And so I don't know. That's just, educated guesswork or non-educated guesswork, depending on how you
Non-educated,
want to look at it.
uneducated. Yeah,
Yeah. If you want to look, but I don't know. I kind of would like to see Dragon Quest IX getting a remake. It's a good one.
yeah.
Um, Level 5, I don't think would be involved in it at all, just because of
Mm-mm.
that falling out, which is maybe like reconciled now. But I mean, Level 5 has just got to get it together, man.
They are a mess right now.
Like we're what 2 years past when they said Deca Police was going to come out, and it's still like in production. I think Professor Layton, they finally did come out earlier this year and say it is coming out later this year.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I hadn't heard that. I hadn't seen that.
we did get, Fantasy Life High last year,
Yeah,
so we're at least getting some new games. They did announce a new the like an updated version of Snack World, which I felt like was a complete waste of time because Snack World kind of sucked.
man, I was so excited for Snack World. I bought it on release. I was so excited for that game, and then it was just a pretty big disappointment. On it
It
was fun for a very short period of time, and then I got really burned out on
Yeah, it's like I, I would say I've played, to my knowledge at least, I think I've played every level 5 game, and Snack World is the worst
it.
of all those games. At least, at the very least, I played every level 5 game that's actually come out in English, and
Right. That's
eh,
fair.
one or two that hasn't come out in English. But I was disappointed in Snack World as well. It's kind of like it's an interesting concept, It's like, okay, let's take like Fantasy Life and also like Diablo
Hmm.
and like smash it together, and then grow it into something else. Smash grow. Grow it into something else. But it was just like I was really hyped for that game. I know you were too.
Yeah.
And there were quite a few of our like friends online that were really excited for it. And then
Yep.
it kind of came out, and I think we were all really excited for the first couple of weeks, and then everybody just was like, I'm done now.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say it's a bad game. That being said, I wouldn't say it's a bad game. It's just
No.
compared to stuff like Nino Kuni, Fantasy Life, Yokai Watch, Rogue Galaxy. I mean, even Dark Cloud. I mean, it's just like there's so many other games by level 5 that are better.
Right.
And that I would have argued need more of a remake, re-release than Snack World. I think probably the reason Snack World's getting it again because like remakes and remasters can help fund your other projects,
Right.
as you get these out. I think it's probably because like Sony owns Dark Cloud and Sony owns Rogue Galaxy. Dragon Quest 8, Dragon Quest 9, they did for Square Enix. And they've already gotten modern versions of Nino Kuni and Nino Kuni 2 out there.
Right. Yep.
And so it's kind of like it's like, okay, well, Snack World is kind of an easy one, which I feel like is probably why that's the one that they announced coming out. But yeah, I going back to Dragon Quest. I mean, Dragon Quest 9 is at the very top of my wish list for DQ Day.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I'm actually torn on a remake of DQ9 because I love the original one so much, and I actually love the graphics on it. That a remake for it, I don't think I'm going to be as excited about as a lot of other people are, just because of the fond memories I have of the first one and how much I love the DS graphics. Like, I really love the engine that they did with DQ9. So it's as much as I want it to be on new consoles and I want to have the online access that, you and I don't have to sit on a couch beside each other trying to figure out how to do it on our DSs. It's I do think that I'm a little hesitant on it because I'm like, I hold that one in such high esteem already that it's one of the few things that I think about. I'm like, I don't know if I'd want it. It's weird. It's like, as much as I kind of want it, I'm like, if it looks different though, that's one of my favorite things about it. I just love the look.
I think I want it less so for myself, but more for all the people who haven't got to experience DQ9.
That's
I
fair
mean,
because it is such a good game. It is so excellent.
we're what? nearing 17 years since it came out.
Jiminy
Um,
Christmas.
yeah, I mean, you know, Dragon Quest IX is almost old enough to vote and get drafted. Um, and it's like
Damn.
it's stuck there, you know? Like that, but that
Yeah.
means you have to think about all the new Dragon Quest fans,
That have
or
come
even
since that release
that have come since that
and
release
since DS died
that
or
maybe
was
don't
put to
have
sleep.
yeah, that maybe don't have their DS anymore, don't have their 3DS, don't have a way to play it. If they do want to play it, they're going to have to shell out a lot of money to get Dragon Quest 12, especially if they want it like complete, in box and all that.
Or
But then
DQ9. Yeah.
DQ9, yeah. And then there's also like, I mean, a 17-year-old game, like how
Yeah, that's fair.
anybody that was younger than probably like what, 10 at the time never really had a chance to play
Had a
it.
chance.
Let's
Yeah,
let's say
that's fair.
eight. Let's even say eight. Let's round down a little bit. So I mean that's like what, 20, anybody 25 and under right now that loves Dragon Quest maybe has not had a good
A
chance to
good
really play.
opportunity to get it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
And even if you do like it, there's plenty of people out there that don't want to play it because of the way it looks now. I mean, there's a ton of people who don't play video games because they look ugly. Um, Not that DQ9 looks ugly, because I agree with you. I'd love that look for it.
Yeah, it
I'm
just
This is a tangent, but I'm super nostalgic for like DS, 3DS looking games. I don't know
mm,
why. Because it's not like I was a kid when I played any of those
yeah,
games.
I mean the
But
3DS, the DS came out when I was in college and the 3DS came out when I was a grown man working. So it's yeah, I but I'm nostalgic for it. For sure. I'm the same way.
yeah,
What I
I
realized I'm the most nostalgic for are PS1 low poly graphics. There's an RPG I keep getting ads for that is a based around PS1 style games, TTRPG, a tabletop RPG, and it's got art that looks like old PS1 games. And I'm like, those people hit me right in the feels, like hitting that 30-year old nostalgia from when I was a teenager. Like
yeah,
they really did know how to just punch me just right in the tender spots,
right in the tenders.
right in the tenders, right in the nuggies. The
Um, all right. So what else are you hoping to see? Just unrealistic or not? Like what are you expecting to see?
unrealistic. We're gonna see Dragon Quest X in English.
I mean,
I
I
don't
think
think
that
there's been a better time for it. After 40 years, we need to get this in English. And yes, it's 40 years since DQ10. It feels like.
I mean,
But
yeah,
for
I
real,
get
like if I had my druthers, like that's something I would love to see. Like there are so many ways they could do it now with the offline version. Even even that stupid AI translation type helper thing that we saw that was announced a while back. Like anything, but if DQ10 would get an English version, I would be there.
yeah. I
Like
mean, I'm not gonna say I don't want that. I think it's just at this point I am totally over the idea of us ever getting it. That like it wasn't even on my wish list this time because
yeah, I mean, I totally understand because it's unrealistic and a complete pipe dream that that would happen. Especially with them sunsetting the game with its last expansion coming up. I think we're going to see some of that. I think DQ Day is going to have DQ10's final expansion kind of front facing on this one to kind of wrap up that entire era of what that game is.
I yeah, I mean I'm sure we'll get DQ10 stuff. I think for me my wish list is I would absolutely adore for them to announce a Heroes 3
Yeah,
because that's kind of like a good celebratory way to like ring in an anniversary, and that is when Heroes 2 released, but it's just like both the previous games are cool because they let you interact and fight as a variety of characters from other Dragon Quest games,
right.
and there's still and I know that those two games have some repeats, but also there's still so many that haven't been in either one yet.
Yeah.
And and Two, I mean, we don't have any characters from 9, 10, or 11 in a Heroes game yet.
in that kind of game at all.
You don't have, I'm trying to think. I think Borea may be the only one that isn't from 4 that hasn't made it into a Heroes game, but um call back to 3 years ago, Borea sucks. Um so yeah, I mean I think there's an opportunity there to just have throw more characters in from the older games and some of the newer games, maybe introduce I know the hero is unnamed in 9 and there's not like a named cast, but I mean there's other characters in 9 that could possibly
We
um
get Stella
be
in
playable.
there.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Um,
Yeah.
but I think that would be cool. Like more than, there's some cool spin-offs, more than a Builders 3, more than another Rocket Slime game, more than any other DQ spin-off I can even think of. Heroes is really, I think, the one that if a Heroes 3 get announced, I would just be absolutely freaking out over. I really like the Heroes games.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they're great.
and I would love to have a third one, and I think it would. I think of all the spinoffs out there, that's the one where it's like uh, the best way to celebrate a milestone like the 40th anniversary.
And I agree. I think that Heroes would be a great way to celebrate the 40th because of bringing all the characters together. I would also like to see, and I don't think there's been any indication of there actually being one, but I would love to see DQ Monsters 4 announced. I would love to have another DQ Monsters game come out because I loved DQ Monsters 3. That
It's
game was so good.
yeah, I mean, Monsters is great. I would still prefer Heroes 3, but yeah,
Right.
Monsters would be cool. Um,
Builders 3 would also be great. Like I'm ever since they shut down that side of the development team though, I don't really or was it the person leaving? I can't remember at this point
from my
what kind
understand
of shuttered
from
it.
my from my understanding, Square Enix just burned him out completely, and I mean, he made Pokemon Pokopia now
Oh, I
on
didn't know that was the
PC.
same guy.
Yeah, I think I might have said it on the podcast before.
You
But
know I have no memory of anything that came before last week,
yeah, but that's why
even during last week.
if you check out Pokopia, there's lots of things in there that you'll see and you're like, "Oh, this is like in Dragon Quest Builders." But
Oh, cool.
that's why. Um yeah, I don't know. Other than honestly, I think it's just going to be a bunch of updates in Dragon Quest 12 reveal this year.
Right.
Part of the reason why I'm not really dreaming too big is I think we're getting to that point where the studio is really going to have to like buckle in and put up blinders and just focus on getting Dragon Quest 12 out.
Right.
And it means
That's
that
fair.
things go by the wayside. If, there's other studios that you can pawn off things like remakes and remasters to, so that
Mhm.
it's not taking from like your core team. But in terms of new games like Treasures or Monsters 3 or possible Builders 3 or any of the things we've talked about today, like I do wonder if that would take up too much time,
Good.
like from Yuji Horii and other developers and stuff with the Dragon Quest series, to the point that it's just like, no, we got to get DQ12 done first.
Which isn't entirely unreasonable either because it's been in development for so long. There have been so many setbacks in terms of the production team. I mean, Toriyama and Sugiyama ended up passing away during development, and we have no idea at what point any of their work was completed. And so it's the first game without them as well. So there's a lot of replacement and adjustment that has to be done after 40 years of having the composer and the art direct not art director but design one of the main designer working on
Character
stuff,
designer.
character
Yeah.
designer. Thank you.
Um,
uh
if you told me right now, or if like 10 years from now they announce that showing Dragon Quest 12 on DQ Day for the 35th anniversary, that was when they started development on it, I would believe you, because we didn't really get anything. It's easy to make a logo mock up and have a name for something in your head.
mhm.
Um, But I would believe you just because of how long it's taken compared to other Dragon Quest games,
Right.
mainline Dragon Quest games. And I get it. Like you said, two of the big three passed away. We had like this global pandemic. Just the industry as a whole and technology has changed so much in this half decade since. And there's just like a lot of outside factors. But still, it's like the world was by no means not tumultuous like in
Right.
the 90s or like early 2000s, you know? And they still managed to get games out regularly. So I don't know. I'm 100% confident we're getting Dragon Quest 12 though.
Yeah.
Like a trailer for DQ 12.
If we don't, I am not sure the game even exists at this point. That in any kind of tangible or realistic form that game could come out within the next 5 to 10 years. That if we don't see anything from it, I would be really, really amazed that it even exists in a recognizable form as DQ12.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting it. It's 40th. They've got to show
Yeah,
it. Just like they had to show the logo for 35th.
yeah. I mean, I'm very curious about it. I'm very hopeful about it. After how great 11 was and how long it's been since 11 came out, but how consistent all of the DQ releases out. I mean, for me, outside of Treasures kind of let me down, but outside of that, all the DQ releases have been really solid. I'm excited to see how 12 is. I'm not worried about 12. I will not be worried about 12 unless we don't see anything from 12.
And
At
and
that
you
point, I get worried.
And you know, that's the thing is that like I talk about, like we talk about all this stuff like we're just starving for Dragon Quest content. And it's like compared to the first 30, 35 years of Dragon Quest, we're
Yeah,
we're eating good. Yes, we're complaining about how long it's been since we saw the logo for DQ12, but it's like we got that really fantastic update of for 11 right before that and Builders 2, and then since this announcement we've gotten these, remakes of the Erdrick trilogy and 7 and Monsters 3 and Treasures and that die game that, is totally
exists.
forgettable but still happened. It's like by no means has Dragon Quest been quiet the last 5 years. And
Right.
compared to probably any other 5 year period of Dragon Quest in the West, this is like the most Dragon Quest games we have ever gotten in a 5 year span. So I don't want it to. So it's like, yeah, I know we complain. I know a lot of fans complain, but it's like if you put it into perspective, it's like the last 5 years have actually been
Been
pretty
pretty good for
incredible.
us.
Yeah, been
It
pretty incredible.
they really have when you look at it in perspective. When you're getting into such a niche kind of topic as we do on a Dragon Quest podcast and even an RPG podcast, if you're looking at it from a larger perspective, or a wider perspective, it's we still have a very good track record in this particular fandom of not having a lot of garbage and having a lot more stuff to talk about than we would have 10 years ago.
Yeah,
That
for
we
sure.
could not have imagined all of these remakes and even re-releases. Like if you look at like the re-releases on the Switch years ago, like we couldn't even imagine that in 2016. Like that was a like non the Dragon Quest didn't exist in the West at that point, really.
Yeah, it's like a
Like
non-starter.
non-starter, yeah.
Yeah,
Now look at us. We're complaining we don't have Builders 3, and we've seen a logo for DQ12, but we've had this absolute dearth of content, which
yeah,
we have taken for granted in some ways, but also because we want it's always more, more, more. But at the same time, we've had a good run. Like
yeah.
we really have had a good run over the last little while.
We're saying boo hoo hoo, but by my account, we have gotten 7 console Dragon Quest games in that 5 year span.
Yeah. Like
We have
we've
the
been every year, you and I have been like, I wonder what they're releasing this fall, kind
Yeah,
of thing. And it's like, oh well, we were not like that even when this podcast started.
yeah. Or I guess
we
I guess 6. I was counting 1 and 2 remake as two separate games,
It's
but
two separate games,
they
right?
came out on one, so I guess. You have that three, Seven remake, Monsters 3, Treasures, and the Die game. So that's six games that came out on
Yeah.
console since then.
And that's
And
not even considering stuff that's non-game when you look at all the manga and anime we've gotten as well with the
yeah,
Die remakes, the uh my gosh, I can't remember the most recent manga's name. I have it on the shelf over there that
Mark of
we
Erdrick.
Mark of Erdrick, thank you. I was like Hero Abel, and I'm like, no. And but yeah, the Mark of Erdrick stuff, like Monsters manga, the Die anime that came out, we're doing good. And that was one other thing that I was kind of hoping for in a wish list kind of thing. My final wish list kind of thing for DQ Day is a new manga. Is I would love to see an actual new DQ manga coming out, like
That would be cool.
not a remake, not a remaster, not a retranslation or something, but an actual new one that we could enjoy would be fun just to see it.
Yeah, that would be cool. We're about to run out of time, so thank you guys for listening to this week's episode. Let us know what your Dragon Quest Day predictions are. You can have predictions in your wish list like we did here. Tell us what you think we got right. Tell us what you think we got wrong. And then in about 3.5 weeks,
Yeah.
about 3.5 weeks from when this episode goes live, we will actually all know the answers because Dragon Quest Day will have taken place.
Yep.
Um, Remember, you can leave those comments on Spotify or on YouTube at youtube.com/at DQFM. You can also share that with us on Blue Sky or Twitter at Dragon Quest FM. And if you want to talk to me personally, I'm there at Dragon Quaston.
And I'm on Twitter at BJK Games, Blue Sky, BJKGames.com, and Instagram at BJK.games. And you can find the podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/, DragonQuestFM if you'd like to support us that way.
Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.